On this week's episode, we celebrate our 6-year podaversary.
Wow. And to celebrate this momentous occasion, we're going to talk about how much we've changed since 2020.
Insane. Stick around.
Hello, and welcome to 6 years of Rare with Flair.
The podcast where two best friends with the same rare disease are living our best lives. I'm your host, Casey.
And I'm your host, Cassandra. Yay!
This makes me feel emo. I feel emo.
I can't believe we've made it to this point. It's insane.
Never thought. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, truly? I mean, we never thought at the beginning of this that we'd be doing it for 6 years. Not that we, ever were planning a stopping date necessarily. But I
definitely thought 2 years would be the max in my head.
Me too. Same here.
Where we've extended 3 times that.
It's actually insane. 6 years, in some ways it doesn't sound that long, and in many ways it is almost like a different lifetime, and that's kind of what we were going to talk about today, is just the ways that our lives have changed.
And they have changed. Actually, speaking of things that have changed, I have updated the rarewithflair.com website. I know all of you website fiends who are checking it all the time. I'm being a little sarcastic because I don't even know who looks at the website. But I mainly did this just for our sake, because we love a little categorizing moment. But if you go and check out, I think most people just listen to our episodes directly on their platform of choice, Spotify, Apple, what have you. But if you do go to rarewithflair.com, we have, and I have sorted our episodes into different categories. So if you want to hear all of the podaversary episodes of you can click on the podaversary category and see them all.
Yep.
You don't have to dig.
Specific. You got specific with it, Cass, and I appreciate that. It's like,
thank you.
If you want to hear podaversary, we got it. If you want to hear a conference episode, we've got it. If you want to hear, I don't know, holiday or
tier list episode,
tier list, guide dog, whatever. I thank you dearly for doing that. Cass is our master behind the website, and it makes me feel emo because you made the website 6 years ago.
Oh my gosh,
I remember vividly when you were putting it together, and we're still working on it all this time later.
Gosh.
So thank you to Cass for doing that. But I think we love categorizing things, so it makes me happy for even just for us, like you said, that we have them all like that. So,
but yes, I was thinking of past podaversary episodes, and we did one a little similar for our 5th podaversary last year, where we talked about disability opinions that we had that had changed.
And I can't believe that's been a year.
I can't believe that's been
a year.
Recently. It's actually so wild.
And so I kind of brought this idea to Cass, and she said, well, didn't we do an episode like that about disability opinions that have changed? And I was like, yes, however, we wanted to talk about just how our lives have changed, not disability related. I mean, some of it I'm sure will be because our lives are colored by our disability in many ways.
Very true.
But
very true.
Not our disability opinions, not in the ways we've influenced each other, which is another episode we did, which we highly recommend listening to. We think it was a fun old time, or rip-roaring good time, as Cass likes to say.
It is a rip-roaring good time.
But this is more broad. How have our living situations changed? How have our job situations changed? Maybe our friends, maybe our how many places we've traveled or things we've ticked off the bucket list, how our schooling or different things we accomplished, different goals, whatever. How there's been a lot. There's been a lot.
I mean, 6 years is quite some time.
When you look at it this way, it really is. It might not sound like a long time, but when I think of all the things that have been in those 6 years, man, it's been a lot.
It's been a ride.
It has been a lot. It's been a ride. It has. So
where shall we begin?
I think we could begin. You know where I think we should begin? is our living situation. And the reason I have a little announcement, but also a big announcement, I guess, but also the reason I want to talk about this is, well, I'll get to that when I talk about it. I wanted to talk about how I am in the same place I recorded our first episode in, but I'll get to that. I'll get to that because Cass, my living situation technically kind of has not changed during the pod until now.
Until just now.
Until just now. So I guess I'll go ahead and go. So I have been in my condo since the birth of the pod. I moved in August of 2018, and we started the pod in 2020. And I actually, though, recorded the first few episodes of the pod at my parents' house. My parents live about 10 minutes from my condo, and I have a little recording closet here at my parents' house. So that's where I recorded a big chunk of the first year or so of the pod. And then I kind of started to get annoyed with having to do that. So I started recording just at my condo. But it kind of makes me feel special that I'm back. And the reason I'm back at my parents' house is I am moving eventually to Arkansas. And I closed on our new house today, or Grant and I did today, which is very exciting. So now I'm at my parents' house, but pretty soon, for the rest of time, as we know it, I will be recording the pod in Arkansas, live from Arkansas.
Woohoo!
At our new house. And so that is a way that my living situation has literally just now changed.
Exactly
Cass,
today.
Yours,
how special.
Exactly today, which is kind of crazy. And that's kind of a way for me to also just announce that to the audience. I wasn't going to announce any moving things until it was done. And it was done today, which is super fun. And I'm very excited. We're very excited. But it makes me feel emo to be in the closet that I recorded in at the very beginning, because I remember it vividly, and I remember being really nervous, which is cute because we don't get nervous anymore to do it.
I also think of the anniversary of the ADA, and I think of the pod because it was around that time in 2020 where it had been exactly 30 years. And we were like, oh, how cool. And we're recording our very first podcast episode. It was so cute. And
yeah. Wow. And then, Cassie, your living situation has also changed in the last 6 years.
In the last 6 years, for sure. Shortly after and shortly before the pod, before I had moved into my very first solo apartment in August of 2019. And then I was living there in the beginning of the pod. During the pandemic, I think I talked about this briefly in that time, just so that I didn't go insane in my own one-bedroom apartment, just me and Armana staring at each other. I would go and spend some time, like a week at my parents and then a week in my apartment. So then just kind of bounce back and forth. So the very first episode, I believe I recorded in my parents' house. So I'm not there currently. But shortly after starting the pod in February of 2021, I bought the condo that I have lived in ever since, and where I am recording this episode right now.
Amazing. And I know if you haven't heard our last episode, our most recent episode, here's a little plug for it. I recently got to go to Cass's condo again, very recently. And
very briefly, but still
it's like
notable.
It's the cutest place, and I love how in the last 5-ish years, 5.5 years that you've been there.
About
how many fun home improvement things you've done to like really make it your own, and it's been really fun to watch. So, as your friend to watch from the beginning.
And I'm excited to hear about your future home projects and your future new home.
Yes.
Woohoo.
Cannot wait. Woohoo.
Yes. Okay. What about jobs? What were you doing when we started the pod? Fun
fact, I was unemployed when we started the pod for like a brief bit. So I was working at a theater when COVID happened, and it got completely shut down. And, I was still kind of with them, but also I was doing some things from home for them, but also looking for other work. And I ended up like, it's funny. I work for NOAA and HPS Network now. As many of you know, that's not something I hide on this podcast. Many of you know what those nonprofits are. But I was not working for either of them when I started the pod. Isn't that crazy, Cass? Like, it feels like forever. So I started NOAA
they feel
December
linked
of that
to me,
year.
You know?
Yeah.
But I guess
they do in a lot of ways.
Because you started working at NOAA at the end of that year.
Yeah, December of that year that we started the pod. So in many ways, we were not doing the pod for very long before I started NOAA. And I actually started HPS the following year. I just wasn't working as many hours as I am now at the beginning, but I did start doing just like, freelance stuff for them in 2021. So yeah, things have changed. My title at NOAA has changed. I was program support specialist. Now I'm their virtual program coordinator. My title at HPS Network has changed. I do the social media now. I wasn't doing that before. So, yeah, job changes and title changes, I guess, in 6 years.
That's wild. That's wild. I have some non-changes and some changes. I have worked at the same company. Actually, this weekend will be my official 7-year service anniversary, which is insane. I can't believe I've been doing something for that long. The pod is one of the things I've done the longest as well. But 7 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I mean, I think the only other things I've done for longer is that I've been a guide dog handler for 10 years. Yeah. Very soon this month as well, August.
That's insane.
Will be my 10-year guide dog handler anniversary.
Wow.
But I've been at the same company. I did have a different role. So as a lot of you also know, I work in the digital accessibility field. Back when we started this podcast, I was an accessibility tester. I did other kinds of app testing. So I would use like a screen reader and other assistive technologies that people with disabilities use and test the app and check to see what work, or basically try to break it and then try to fix those issues. But I did a lot of other things as well. And then again, shortly after starting the pod, about a year later, I changed roles. And I've been in a very similar role and team for then the past 5 years. Now I'm an accessibility specialist. So I'm basically like a little consultant, which is very fun. I really like this role. So we shall see, but maybe people leading in the future. We'll have to see what the future holds. But I have been really enjoying still being at the same company and like really putting down roots somewhere and the people I work with. So
and you have like continued to really grow in your roles there so much, and it's like awesome to think about what can happen in the next 6 years.
Absolutely.
It's also like crazy to me that 7 years is quite like an accomplishment. So congratulations. But it is kind of crazy that I guess when we started the pod, you had only been there a year, which I know you had graduated college before that. So, but like, that's also kind of funny to me. Like you were still somewhat like new at that point. And now you've like been around.
I know.
Wow.
I've been
That's
around.
amazing.
I've been around.
You've been around. I think the next topic should be, I have a few like topics in mind. We didn't really plan out the exact order, but I think the next one could be schooling / certifications.
Yes.
Because you guys know. So, or Cass, you go first for this one because I went first the last time.
Okay, yes. So I had graduated from college in 2019, and in 2022, as devoted listeners may remember, I started a master's program and graduated in 2024. So within the 6 years, I have gotten a master's in user experience design, which is basically the science of making technology more user-friendly. So it was a super cool program, and I did it online, and I can't believe that happened. Sometimes because I did it online, it feels like it was a fever dream. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah. And like, it's so cool too, that we've been friends this whole time, so we remember when all these things were happening for each other. It's kind of like my own memories are meshed into your memories. But yeah, that was a huge accomplishment, and it happened within these last it's kind of really cool to talk about all the things that happened just in 6 years. So I, as many of you know, also that I'm sure all the OG listeners know a lot of this, but it's fun to put it all together like this for you guys. So as many of you know, I started my Braille transcription certification in I kind of started, I think, June of 2020. So it was like right before the pod, but barely, because the pod was July of 2020. So it was, 2020, I was doing a lot of things, clearly, because I didn't have anything else to do. But yeah, I ended up graduating from, or not graduate, but whatever you want to call it, getting the certification 3 years later.
You can call that graduating.
Sure. Was it December? Gosh, my brain. December of 23. December of 23.
That sounds right.
Yep.
That sounds right.
Yep. That sounds right. For some reason, Cass, 23 and 24.
I was just having this thought. I was like, what happened in 2023? Because my brain deleted it for Braille. A second.
It was Braille. Yep. That was December of 23. I graduated Braille. That was Braille. Have I done anything with it? Nope. But, it's fun. I mean, I started doing it when I was out of a job in the hopes that it would be, and then my life went a different way, and that's what happens in life. But it was a really good experience, and I'm happy to have done it, and still felt that accomplishment when I finished. So
yeah, you may do it. You may use it yet, or maybe you'll end up doing something entirely different. Who knows?
You never know. Like life. I mean, this episode alone proves how life can just life.
Yeah. Yeah. No
life
kidding.
Be lifing. Life be lifing.
Wow. Well, okay. I think next we should talk about physical changes that we've made.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, gosh. I mean, there's many, right?
There's many.
There are many. So, I don't think either of us have gotten a new tattoo since we started the pod, have we? I haven't.
We have not. I have not.
Wow. How crazy is that?
Wow.
So, we don't have that, but I can talk a little bit about my stuff. My hair, when we started the pod, was a pixie cut.
Yes.
But at the time, I was kind of starting to grow it out during the pandemic because I wasn't getting my hair cut. And I was like, this is a perfect time because no one's going to see me in the awkward stage of growing out a pixie cut. So I grew that out. And many, many times I've cut it again, grown it out again. I haven't grown it out super long, but, grown it like past my shoulders, then cut it again up short. But I'm trying to think. Oh, I went red, actually.
You did.
I dyed my hair.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that, and I was going to say it if you
I'm
didn't.
glad. Yeah, I remembered. I dyed my hair red at the end of 2024, like November of 2024. I only kept it that way for like 4 months maybe, and it was fun. It was just a lot of upkeep, and I do prefer the blonde at the end of the day, but it was a fun little change.
Yeah.
And other physical changes. I'm trying to think of I re-pierced my ears, which
That's right.
I had re-pierced like 3 times, and this time they finally are acting better because I know how to deal with them now. I just had a lot of allergy issues with them, as Cass understands as well.
Oh, man.
I may think of more as you talk, but for now, I don't think there's been anything else
I
like
can think
super
of something
dramatic. Really?
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to think.
You got glasses.
Yeah, I did. That's a good one. I did get glasses. And we've talked about that ad nauseum on this podcast.
Especially
bringing
recently.
it back to the vision impairment. Especially, yes. Yep, got glasses. That's been fun. I really like them.
They're cute.
That was a good one. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, it's probably because mine have to do with both hair and glasses. So
yes,
glasses. You guys have heard in recent episodes, especially if you heard the last one where toward the very end I talk about NoahCon. But I haven't worn glasses since April, I want to say, or mid-April. The last time I really wore them day to day was the HBS conference. And then basically the moment I came home, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to be a contacts person now, which is wild because I have worn glasses for at least over 20 years.
That sounds insane.
I know. I think I was like
insane.
8 years old or
Oh my
7
gosh.
years old when I got them. So 20, almost 2 years that I wore glasses pretty consistently. There were some periods of time when I was in college and I had just gotten my contacts that I would wear contacts. But at the end of the day, I always liked the look of myself in glasses until recently. I just saw so many more advantages to wearing contacts, and I honestly don't mind having them in my eyes. So that's been kind of a bigger recent change. And then I also had a pixie cut when we started the pod.
Yes,
unlike
that's
Casey,
crazy.
though, I didn't really want to grow it out at the time. And I had it for quite some time, basically since I was in college. And then I want to say in 2022, I grew it to a little bob, and then I cut it back, and then I again grew it to a little bob, and then I just was like, and I kept it there for a while, actually, like a little bob, and then a longer bob, and then I was like, at the end of 2024, I was like, I think I'm just gonna grow it out. And it was like almost 8 to 10 years after I had initially cut it all off after I graduated high school, and so now it's getting pretty long, which is exciting. I want to grow it as long as I can. That's feasible, so we will see, but it's just been, I've had a lot more time to devote to my hair, and it's just been really fun to play with and have a new little
you had
hair
the pixie
hobby.
Oh yeah, you had the pixie even longer than I did, but I still had mine 4 years, which I think is pretty
That's wild. I
substantial
can't
to keep
believe
a
it was
haircut.
actually that long.
It was the beginning of 2016 to the beginning of 2020. But, and it's funny because, like you said, our cover art, both of us have a pixie in the cover art. Wink, wink. I don't know.
I know, right? And I think yours was like starting to grow out slightly, but
yes, it was.
I think the last time I truly cut it back to like a pure pixie was 2022, and since then I don't think it's ever been that short.
Oh wow,
which is still a while, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is. That's a long time because when I met Cass, everybody, her hair was quite long when I met you. Yes. So I've known you in all the phases and stages.
You really have seen, and it's pretty rare because my friends currently have mostly known me as I have had grown out my hair and even had a littler bob, but they see pictures of me, and I have a picture of myself. I don't have like a lot of pictures of myself in my house, but I have my graduation photos with my guide dogs, and I got my hair cut into a pixie in 2015, as soon as I graduated high school, and I got Romana the year after, and I had a friend who was in my house. She was like, wow, that doesn't look like you. That looks so different. And it's like, wow, really? She didn't even know me in that phase, and that was a long hair phase.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm happy to have known you in all the hair phases.
You've known me in all the phases.
I've known them in all of them, and I will continue to know you in all of the upcoming ones. And how fun is that?
So
how
exciting.
Fun is that?
And same with you. Fun. Maybe you will just like, you know what? I want to be a ginger again for a hot sec.
Who knows?
I also was dyeing my hair a lot of colors at the time.
You were.
And just because it was fun, and I was like in my early 20s, why not, right?
Yeah.
I stopped doing that. Also, I think in 2022, the last time I did it was in 21. I dyed it teal.
Okay.
And since then, I think the urge has not really returned. I was like, I think I did it. I think I maxed out.
You did it. You did, and you did a lot of fun ones. So.
It was fun. I'm really glad I did.
It was fun. Yeah, I am too. It was a really fun time. Okay. Well, do you have any other? I think
that was mostly it for me, really.
Okay. So up next, I want to talk about pets and guides.
Yes.
And if you want to go first,
well,
I think this.
So I was just doing the math earlier. I was like, when we started this podcast, Romana was 5 years old.
Stop! No, she was 5
years old. Romana is almost 12.
Oh my gosh.
And she was still an active guide when we started, which was crazy. She worked from 26, as many of you know, she worked from 2016 through 2024. And I retired her in June of 2024. And since then, she like only worked extremely occasionally, but she was my pet until I got Anaheim. And so now, of course, I've had Anaheim for almost a year already.
That's absolutely insane as well. Yeah, because August, oh my gosh, we're coming up on the anniversary of Anaheim.
Yes, so all of my, really
gosh,
important anniversaries are actually in August. My work anniversary, and then both of my dogs I also got in August. It's like a more meaningful month to me now, especially with the addition of Anaheim, than it was ever. And I also really like the number 8. So it's all coming together. I also, okay, we love patterns, right?
Yep.
8, if Taylor Swift's number is 13, mine is 8 because I got Romana on the 8th and I got Anaheim on the 18th of the number 8 month.
Oh my gosh.
So we love it.
I love it. August is actually, every big move I've had has been in August.
Really?
Too. So yeah, I thought about that today and I was like, Cass would appreciate this.
Oh, see, we love that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, New York, I got the apartment in August. I didn't actually go till early September, but I'm going to count it.
We're going to count it.
The apartment was mine. And then the condo was August. And now my new house, which it's July right now, but I won't be in it till the very end of August, if that, maybe September. But
I mean, really, there are 2 days left in July. So,
We're going to count. We're going to count it by July. We're going to count it. We're going to count it. So, yeah, I cannot believe that Anaheim... The 1 year anniversary of Anaheim is coming up.
It's so soon.
Insane. I have had, not to get sad, I've had 2 pet deaths I actually just was thinking of since the pod started. Do not fret. Rupert is alive and well and crazy. Actually, I've had a lot of pet changes now that I'm coming to think of it because I'm about to inherit a dog as well. So
yes, I was about to say that if you weren't.
So my childhood dog, Milo, one of my childhood dogs, I had 3, but one of my childhood dogs, Milo, passed away in 2021. Rest in peace. But we were already doing the pod at the time. And then I got a fish during the run of the pod.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the fish!
Yeah.
Zuko.
I got a fish named Zuko. And I had him most of 2023, and he died. He lived about a year.
You also had him in 2022 as well, because I remember when I visited you for your 30th, I watched him swim around.
Okay, well then yes, that's right. I got him in 22, and he died in 23.
Rip.
So that rip, Zuko, loved him, and honestly, it was so funny when Grant and I were signing our closing paperwork today. There's a large fish tank in the lobby, and I said to him, we're putting a large fish tank in our house, and he was like, that's really big. And I was like, we're doing it. I'm joking, we're not, but like my dream, my dreams. A girl can dream. That's a lot of work. But I love
that is a ton of work though.
It's a ton of work, but I love fish. That would be my dream if it weren't a lot of work. And then so Rupert, when we started, was, help me with the math, because how
old is he right now?
I guess he's 7.
So he was a year old.
He was a year old, yeah.
Wow, he was a baby boy.
What the heck? He was a baby boy. And so, yeah, he is still alive and well. And then my fiance's dog's name is Scout, who will soon be my dog through Mirage. And it's like my stepdog, I guess. Like, it's a funny relation.
Your stepdog.
It will be doctor. It will be my dog, but it is a different relationship than I have to Rupert because I raised him.
That's right.
My son,
yours, mine, and ours.
Yeah.
Will there be an ours dog? We have yet to see.
Maybe if the other 2 pass, but not before that. Okay. Not before that.
That would be a lot of dogs.
That would be too much. But if the other 2 pass on, and by if I mean when, maybe. So that's been a lot of changes. You have a new guide and all the things. That's been a lot of pet changes in our world. Absolutely.
I feel like I had written down just a few random things that
I love it.
I feel like maybe relate to me And if more than you, and then if you have some, absolutely. So one thing that changed, obviously, during the pandemic, because I had a tech job, I worked remotely. And I worked remotely for a few years. I think through about 2023, I started going in hybrid. And then in 2025, in the spring, I started going back to the office full time. And since then, I have reached the conclusion, I am not cut out for remote work.
Yeah.
And I did it at the time, but truly, as someone who needs a routine enforced on me by outside sources, I was the worst kind of remote worker in the sense that, you know, I would roll over and pull out my computer and it's just terrible for everyone involved. But I didn't know how to snap myself out of that cycle if it wasn't imposed upon me. I feel that now I have a much better routine, and also I've aged and matured with time. I think it's come at a good point, but I do really love working in person. I love seeing people every day. I like dressing cute and getting my Starbucks, and it's a great time. It gives Anaheim a lot of work to do, which is always appreciated. It's a rip-roaring good time. I love working in the office.
And I love that you love it, because I have so many people in my life, not to like throw people under the bus, but a lot of people just like complain like, I don't want to go. I wish I could work from home. And
I hear that all the time.
There are pros and cons to both, but like I'm so happy that you love it. Like because there are pros to it.
There are pros, and there are things that while working remotely, I simply could not have done if I were working in the office full time, just because you do have more time in your home. I started my little side gig because I was a remote worker, and I had more time in between doing actual work to do a few other things additional that, you know, I can't put something in the oven while I'm sitting in my office at the office, you know, but I can while I'm at home, and I think all remote workers sort of resonate with that. But it was a really cool time for me to be able to be a remote/hybrid worker. I also did my master's pretty much while I was working remote and a little bit hybrid. So I did get a lot done during the remote work period, but I am glad to be in this phase currently.
Yeah, that's great. You want to just go back and forth?
Yeah, sure.
Or, because you mentioned your side hustle, and I do hope you kind of come back to that in a minute, because that is something you did during the
pod. That's true.
The life of the pod. But I'll talk about a little side hustle I kind of did during the life of the pod. Back in 2024, I worked a little bit for Descriptive Video Works. I did some audio description narration.
So cool.
Audio description is really important. That was really, really fun. I did I think 5 or 6 projects with them, and haven't done anything lately, but that's okay. I'm going to try to get back into some things though. So I've been doing some spots for my fiance's, he works at a news station, and I've been doing like a few spots for them. I actually did one yesterday for them, and so that's been fun. But that was kind of one of my little side hustles that's not like a job, but just a way to make some extra coin. I started.
Guys, Casey's like super talented, because she had sent me once a commercial with no context that she voiceovered, and I looked at it and I was like, I commented on the content of the commercial, and she was like, no, I did the voiceover. And
that was really funny.
Of course, then I immediately heard it, but I was like, wait, for real? So I was so shocked, and not that I expected anything different, but out of context, I just didn't expect it, and I didn't listen for it, which is very unlike me, because you and I, whenever we watch cartoons together, we're always trying to pinpoint the voice actor. But I was just like really not even thinking about it. I was like, well, okay. And then once she told me, I was like, wow, she's so professional.
Well, it was funny because your reaction, you were like, I'm a terrible friend. How did I not recognize you? Which was really funny. But yeah, it's fun. I don't really, unfortunately, I don't have any walk-in closets in the new house, and like not a one. And that's kind of a good place to record. So I'm going to have to maybe get creative For the podcast, that's fine, but for like
you can hide
that kind of
under
thing,
a few sheets and
make a blanket fort. Blanket
yeah,
fort, sweaty
a pillow fort.
tights. Yeah.
I think that'll
Okay,
be
I like
very
that.
professional. Very good.
I like that. Romanticize the job. Yeah, fun times. I love it.
so
With the
fun.
dogs climbing on top of me.
Absolutely. They're like, Mom, what's going on?
Yeah.
Help.
What's going on?
I need to dig
Rico
her
would have
out.
a panic attack if I made a blanket fort. Yeah, he would not like that. He would not appreciate it.
Yeah, and my side hustle was that I baked and sold tarts I got licensed through the Department of Agriculture for my state, and I sold at a cafe for about a year, which was a really cool experience. And then after, I did a couple catering gigs. I had some friends that got married, and I did tarts for their weddings, which was really fun. Since then, I actually haven't baked a whole lot, which has been in the sense of selling, which has been okay just because I do have a lot less time for it since I am in the office every day. But I still have done a couple little workshops. They're not exactly local to where I live, but they are sort of local. They're still a ways away even from where my parents live elsewhere in Ohio, but it's this lavender farm, and they will host different local vendors for doing workshops related to culinary lavender and its many craftable uses. And I've done different like no-bake tart workshops where people make a little graham cracker shell. They got some ovens, and so then I taught people how to make a short crust. And this year I'm still doing it, even though I'm not actively selling a whole lot of my baked product, but I do still really enjoy teaching the classes a couple times in the summer. So I'll be doing that this month. So it's like not totally non-existent, I guess.
No,
but
it's
just like evolved a little bit. And the last thing I sold was actually I sold my roommate some scones, hilariously enough.
Yes. Love that. When it comes to hobbies, I think we've both talked about how we've both gotten more into physical fitness, which has been really fun. And we've had a fun time exploring the different ways we can do that. Like I did a 5K, and Cass has started rock climbing, and you got a personal trainer at the gym. I'm saying yours for you, sorry, but I'm just, that's been fun. And just like other hobbies, I really kind of got back into reading, I think, kind of during the life of the pod. I was a big reader in high school and college, and then when I moved to New York, things got a little cray-cray, and I kind of just stopped reading as much. And then Cassandra actually did I
can't believe that's actually what got you back into reading full force.
It kind of was.
Wow.
You know what it was?
I changed lives and I didn't even know it.
I'll give you partial credit because it was you, but around the same time, my friend Audrey started a book club too that I joined.
That's when that started too. Very cool.
Yeah, same year. So Cass did a report for grad school about low vision reading and interviewed me for it. And I was like, oh, I love reading. It made me remember. And then you also taught me about Bard Mobile at the time, which was huge.
I forgot.
Huge.
Right. I knew about, we had talked about this. We did an episode about reading, and I talked more in depth about my actual project and some of the findings I got. It was back toward the end of 2022 that I did that project for school. And I was really it was a research that I wanted to uncover how folks with low vision read and consume books and roadblocks that they might face to accessing media that they want. And we both knew about the Library of Congress and Bard and being able to get the talking books, but we didn't know that there was a mobile app for it. And I learned that by doing this project. And boy, Bard Mobile
was huge.
Bard Mobile is amazing.
It's been a game changer in the last 6 years. And and it was funny because, that book club I was in started the fall of 22 also.
Wow.
So those two things just really pushed me into it. And I've read a whole lot of books since then. And
I've read a whole lot of books since then.
Yeah, it's been really fun. This year's going to be less than the past. But I'm still still reading quite a lot. It's just, the past years have been like 100, and that's crazy.
That's a lot of books.
This year's not going to be that many, but I'm going for like, maybe like 60 or something.
Just a cool 60 books.
Just a cool 60. But I still I enjoy it so much. And so when I think of hobbies and how they've evolved, and plants, like my hobby of plants has been really fun. And that's thanks to you, all you and my friend Lena, who listens to the pod. Hey, Lena.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things that I had written down was related to this. I wrote down, I'm a gym girly now. I never thought I was going to be a gym girly, especially at that time. I just it never really appealed to me. I wasn't that interested. And it wasn't until 2024 that I started working out regularly. And then, like Case said, I did personal training from last June of 25 through this June. And it was so fun. I love working out. It is one of my favorite hobbies now. I feel incredibly, partially incredibly basic, but I just love gym. I'm so excited on the days that I know that I'll have time to be able to hit the gym and do some lifting or something. It's just such a joy. And we talked about this on another episode about how we both work out. I have really enjoyed, like I said, I like doing things outside of my home, and I have really enjoyed going to a physical gym instead of working out at home. For me, I just like the separation, and I feel like I can really get in the zone when I'm not distracted by everything in my house. So
whereas I'm the total opposite, and I was a member of a gym for years and years and years and never wanted to go and never could get the gumption to actually put on the outfit and actually get out the door and having it right there for me. And this is why people are different. And you got to find what works for you. Having it right there for me gives me the motivation to be I'm going to just go to the next room and get on my treadmill for an hour or whatever, but I and I see both sides, and that's why you have to pick what's right for you. And if you don't figure out what's right for you, though, and you try to fit yourself into, if you try to do it from home or if I try to go to the gym, we wouldn't want to work out. You've got to find a workout that you actually enjoy, that you will actually do, and that's the key.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah. Find what speaks to you. And then even more recently, I've talked about my rock climbing adventures, which has been super fun, that I've been started getting into again at the end of last year, and then this, especially summer, very recently, I've been really enjoying that. But a lot of the other hobbies I had in 2020 aren't too different. I played video games, and I still play video games whenever I have the time. I always loved to bake, but I actually really started baking a lot more when I moved into this house.
Well, because your kitchen is so great.
Because my kitchen is bigger than an apartment kitchen. And of course, if there's a will, there's a way. I mean,
you can bake anywhere, of course.
You can bake anywhere. Yeah. I did bake a few things in my apartment's kitchen, but truly having a little bit more space made me want to do it even more. And that's honestly what got me through so many challenging times. But I'm trying to think, because 2020 was an odd period that I'm trying to think of the other things I was doing back then.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm trying to think of the other things I was doing back then.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've covered a whole lot. We've covered
a whole lot of them. But
we've covered a whole lot. I mean, I'm sure we've changed in many ways, but also, like you were saying, there are many things. Many of the artists we listen to and the shows we watch and the things we do.
I was just about to say, my music tastes have expanded quite a bit.
It's expanded, but it hasn't it's
right.
both.
I still love a lot of the same artists. In fact, even the music episode that we had done at the beginning of this podcast, I would not say that those artists are my top artists anymore,
Yeah.
And not that all of them are different, but actually a good bit of them are, because I feel like I've enjoyed a lot of more variety in my music, but I still go back to those old favorites. It's a comfort.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, expanded but not changed. I think all my favorite my favorites from back then are still in there, but it's just expanded out, you know?
Yeah.
And we've talked too about how like fashion and personal style has changed.
And that honestly just changes with time too, but we have tried to change with it.
It does. And I can even talk a little bit about, and this is something I've been wanting to say to you. So this is like, you're getting a little like peek into like an actual just like friendship conversation right here. So my current condo is a lot of pastels, a lot of blues and grays, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the blue, and like my bridesmaids dresses are blue. You know, like I love the blue. Okay,
she loves the blue.
I'm going for a different vibe for the new place, and I know we have talked about this a little bit actually, but like I am going for like darker like reds, greens. I know that sounds Christmas. It's not Christmas. Don't get it twisted. But I was talking to Grant about, you know how the Home Alone house, it's like a lot of it is red and green because it's a Christmas film.
Christmas movie.
But it's not necessarily, the house is beautiful and it's not necessarily, like it is like that because it's a Christmas movie, but like you could also walk in that house any time of year without the Christmas decor and be like, this is a regular house. You know what I mean?
Fair. I think of like quirky houses like the Knives Out house.
Yes, that and the Paddington house.
Oh yeah.
Molly Weasley's house.
Yes. And that's like so maximalism, cluttercore.
Yes, which is scary because I don't love that either, but I do. Like I do and I don't. But I think
there's
a difference.
A way to do it that it's not.
There is.
Hoarder adjacent, truly. Like
well, and I think there's a difference. There's a huge difference between being a minimalist and enjoying minimalist design. Mm-hmm. I do not like minimalist design at all, but I also don't want to overconsume and buy a bunch of crap. So like, you know, but like I'm not a minimalist, but like having a minimalist mindset is different than enjoying minimalist design. Like some people really love like an all white house with a white couch and a white whatever. Cass and I are like, you know, that's not the vibe, but some people love that. And that's like minimalist design choice. That's not the vibe that we're going for. It's not the vibe.
Yeah, not the vibe. But yeah, that's
and by
fun.
We, I mean me.
I think that even, especially from my apartment into currently, it was more about the walls in that apartment were gray, but that's so the millennial gray, and I had yellows throughout the house. I don't know if that'll ever really change. Yellow is my favorite color, and I love to use it as an accent color. But since living in this house, I had a gray wall, and then I got it repainted, and I want to say maybe 2023 or so, because I just wanted more of the neutral green look, and I have a lot more
the green.
Neutral green in my house, which I
love it.
Feel like my condo came with a lot of darker woods, and I really like those tones. It feels very log cabin, but make it
warm.
Yes. At the same time, I love that kind of speakeasy look. I think when I was in my apartment, it truly was more like out of college look. I had a lot of, like, posters on the walls still a little bit, but still trying to make it adult. And, you know, with time and money, sure, you know, it costs sometimes money to get some furniture, but also just like little by little making some changes. It's kind of shifted into some more traditional meets eclectic stylings, which I really feel like is my sweet spot. And it's been just really fun to, and I know that you feel the same way, just have a space that is only yours and you can do it up however you like. Because now, of course, like now that you're getting married, you can sort of shift that style to be like
a little less feminine.
Yeah, a little less feminine, a little more palatable to a guy, but at the same time, like we got to do the floral wallpaper thing. I know one could take that away from us.
Exactly. My condo was pretty hyper feminine, a lot of lace, a lot of florals, and it's the best, but also, yeah, the reason I'm also changing a little bit is to try to make it a little more gender neutral. But, I'm still going to have a little girls' time. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I would be worried if you didn't.
Don't you worry. Yeah, we were literally in Lowe's the other day picking out a light fixture, and I looked at him and I was like, are we having a fight? Like, are we? So that's how this is. That's how it goes when you have to both have opinions about things. But I'm joking. We were fine, but you know what I'm saying. It's not just my opinion anymore.
It's true. It's true. But you got that satisfaction all pretty much a little bit before, but all throughout the pod.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yep.
I love it. I don't know. Is there anything else?
I mean, I think, it's almost been an hour.
I think
I can cut that. But, I mean, I think so many things have changed and so many things have not. Like my love for you, Cass.
Oh, same.
Has only grown exponentially. I mean, actually though, because we were like friends when it started, but we weren't as close as we are now.
It's true. It's true. The pod truly brought us together.
The pod brought us together, and it continues to do so. And it's been so fun. I think our listeners have changed throughout the 6 years. Some have stayed the same. Some have come and gone.
Some have truly stayed the same.
Some have truly stayed around. And
I know y'all OGs who have been liking our Instagram reels since day one. Wow. Like, truly the commitment. Or even fans that found the show and binged it entirely. Sometimes multiple times, which
is so nice.
I don't understand. I'm like impressed though, because I am also a pretty champion binger, because I just always have background content on, so I just get through. You talked about books. Actually, I totally forgot to mention that this month especially, she's a reader now, guys. I had always
been a reader though.
I've been a reader. I've been more of a casual reader, in the sense that the past few years I've had book goals, and it's been like, not 60 but 10 or 12 books or something, which is still more than 0 for sure. But this month I have crushed. I'm going to be optimistic because I'm really close to finishing this book, so we're going to say 7 books in July.
That's amazing.
I just was all of a sudden really into it. Okay, I love it. Super into reading all kinds of different books, but I'm like, okay, I think I need to change my Goodreads goal.
Yeah. I love it. That's exciting.
It's been fun. However, anyway, it's been so great. We've appreciated having you all along for the ride. No matter when you found this pod, or how long you've listened, or the veracity with which you have listened to the pod, we appreciate y'all, especially since we don't always know, like we say, who's listening, unless y'all reach out or we find you at conferences, or you tell us, hey, we love your show, which really truly means the world, because we never know fully who we're reaching. So we have loved being here with all of you and having you sit in on our cozy little chaotic disabled lives.
It's awesome. It's been great. And it's been really fun to get to look back also during this episode. So thank you guys for sticking around, and we hope you stick around for the future, which is coming. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.